No. If you're going to Coney Island and going to Nathan's to get a hot dog, you are on the way there. You're in your head like, Joey Chestnut, Joey Chestnut, Joey Chestnut. You're hoping if you say his name 3 times in the mirror that he'll, appear in front of you, just out of the thin
And he
mist.
just might.
Holding a hot dog, offering it to you as a peace offering. Like, you can only hope that that's the experience you have at Coney Island.
Dude, where are you? Pick up your phone. I'm throwing a summer party tonight, and you're obviously invited, so call me back. Okay, love you. Bye.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Emotionally Online, the weekly summer party for spilling guts and sharing secrets, hosted by yours truly, the one and only Maddie Drossbeck, and co-hosted today by my best friend in the entire world, Miss Ashley Olafson. And we're coming at you live from our hotel room in Mallorca, Spain.
It's amazing.
You knew to expect it. Here we are.
We are so glad to be here.
And right at the top here, before we really get into all the juice that we're going to get into today, I just want to call out that Ashley just did her signature cartoon character phrase.
It's true.
Right at the top here. We were talking about this the other day, and I was like, actually, I think it came up because we were talking about Mika and how I said that I thought Mika's cartoon character phrase, or a phrase that every time I hear it, I'm like, that is so Mika. We say that because of Mika, which is cuckoo bonks.
So if something's really nuts, she'll be like, it's cuckoo bonks bananas.
Yeah, it's cuckoo bonks.
So
dude.
cuckoo bonks.
And I feel like you have to say it with a certain the vocal fry has to be heavy.
Yeah.
Cuckoo bonks.
Yeah. It's true.
So cuckoo bonks, dude.
Yeah. And then I said that Maddie's is, I'm not 100% sold on it, but something that
she's
you
coming
do
up with
say,
it. She's milking on it.
Yeah, I'm still working on it, but I would say probably your it's not your main character saying, but it's
one of them.
your supporting character
Totally.
saying is yeah, people have been saying that. I've
So many people are
been
saying
hearing
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your secondary one.
Literally everyone is saying that. More people should be talking about it.
Yeah.
Anything in that general vicinity. I'm like, I agree with that. And I said that Ashley's is she just has a classic wow that she does all the time.
It's true.
Whenever you're excited, just hit him with a
It's
woo.
true. You gotta let the people know.
Yeah.
If you're enthusiastic, you gotta show it.
Yeah. And at some point
Show up and show out.
when was this? When it was you were there are woo girls and non-woo girls, and you're a woo girl. Do you remember this? When did we have this conversation?
I don't remember this.
I feel like this was a move thing, at camp.
Oh, that's really funny.
You're
That's old
you're
school.
a woo girl.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't remember that.
It was from something. It was a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
But that's funny that you did this right at the top of the show. I'm just keeping in line with you.
I always have to.
With your exactly.
It's on brand. Listen.
No, it's
the people have been
so
saying.
On brand. So many people have said that.
Yeah.
And they need to just keep saying it.
And then
it's so
our
true.
collective saying as a group.
This is a great segue. I didn't even mean to do that.
Yeah. Our collective saying as a group is so true, bestie.
Which people have noticed that we say this to each other a lot. Just not a crazy phrase.
Yeah.
But I think we also do that with
We
the
have to
vocal
say
fry.
it to everything.
We're so true, bestie.
Because everything that Maddie says is actually so real and so true. And I heard it. I want to hear it again.
No, it was literally
I
so
need to
true.
validate her in that second that it was actually the truest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life.
Right.
And she just it's yeah.
We said what
we
needed
got
to be
criticized though for being so affirming to each other. But
we did.
I see that as just being
yeah.
Well, it was so true.
I don't know.
What was I going to let that go unsaid?
Right. I don't know when this was. It was one of the podcast episodes that we did, us two and Mika.
Yeah.
And there were a few people in the comments that were perturbed, if I may say, by our usage of "so true, bestie."
But
they
it was.
Really
that's what they're not getting.
They're not getting. Is it
was so true.
So true.
And that's the number probably 3 rule of being a bestie is that when your best friend says something that is actually so true, you have to back it up and let them know. Wow,
that was so
bestie,
true.
So insightful, so true, so real and so right.
But I thought that was so funny. When we saw those comments, we were giggling and hee and ha because I'm like, nothing is that serious, you guys. It's a bit.
Yeah.
We just say that and we think it's fun and
Yeah.
funny and it gives us joy. So
we have our hee-hees and our ha-has.
take a rest, take a breather. All is okay. And that's so true, bestie.
It was really true.
Oh my God. So we're in Spain right now. We're in Mallorca. We're on
day
3 for us, day 2 for everyone else.
and the first full day for everyone else too. 'Cause
yes,
yesterday
everyone
was,
got
like,
here
the arrival
yesterday.
day. And I must say, group vibes already
Group vibes are really good.
huge.
Yeah.
Like, we've been having so much fun with everyone. We've been getting along so well.
Yeah.
We're bestieing it up.
It's
It's
true.
honestly been
So true.
such a good trip. No, that's what I'm saying. What I just said, it
applies.
It was so true. Yeah, but we've honestly had like so
Yeah.
much fun, and we've made like such like good connections
Yeah.
already, and I'm really excited
No.
to just keep the good vibes going.
I agree. And we've had like, it hasn't been shitty weather, but it hasn't been
Yeah.
fantastic. We've had day 1, as people were arriving, it was like drizzling here a little bit. It was cloudy. It wasn't like super warm. But by the airport, it was like downpouring. And so the airport
Which
got
is
flooded.
ridiculous because we're also like 15 minutes away
15
from the,
minutes
airport. So like you think that it wouldn't be that big of a difference,
Yeah,
but
but it
apparently in
was.
Mallorca it was enough to shut the whole airport down.
Yeah, so there were some people whose flights got in later,
Yeah.
got delayed into like this morning because of the flooding at the airport, which is crazy. And then today in the afternoon, it was like downpouring.
Yeah. And like people like from Mallorca were like apologizing because they were like, "Oh my gosh,
It's
this
never
is like
like this."
this has like never happened before. Like I'm so sorry." Like meanwhile, like we're from Massachusetts. We're
Yeah.
like it's really okay.
Yeah, listen, I've seen way
Yeah.
worse.
This
This is fine.
Are you kidding me?
I'm good with this.
School would not even be close to being considered to be canceled.
Right. Yeah,
They'd
no.
be like, remote day? I don't think so.
Yeah, no shot. Get your ass to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I've been fascinated this whole time while it's raining, knowing that I'm in the place where it happens, right? Where I'm in
The room where it
the
happens.
best place to be as a Love Island stan.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that, I'm like, what are they doing over there? Like, what are they? It's been raining for 2 days. In some places, pretty friggin' hard. I'm like, are they getting enough footage?
And
Are
it's
they
also
gonna be
worth
able to have
noting
a
that like
show?
this rain is so unusual that the
Yeah.
tour guide actually said to Maddie
Yeah.
that the past like day it's rained more than it has like or it's rained as much as it does usually in like 6 months of the year.
Yeah, it's like
So
a
it's like it's
absurd
actually
amount of rain for
yeah.
a few days span.
Yeah.
So I was like, what are they doing in the Love Island villa? Because I know sometimes I'll see, like, you can tell when the decking is wet. Maybe there's been like a little drizzle. You know, islands, these little passing storms come and go.
Sunstorm, a sun shower.
Absolutely. You can tell when that happens on Love Island, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen them like for a whole day stuck inside. Or if they were, I feel like they cut around it or like didn't use a lot of the footage from that day. Cause like sometimes they're all inside in the middle of the day and I'm like, maybe it's because it's raining outside or maybe they're all fucking sunburned. I don't fucking know. There's plenty of reasons why it could be, but it's never like a full day or 2 days where they're like, no, we literally can't shoot outside, but they still need to like get content. I don't know. So I'm interested if they're able to like cover up the fact that it's been pouring or
Let's see.
not. We'll see.
We know.
No, we literally don't.
No, well, we know like
No, I
we know
thought
like that
you-
it's rainy.
right,
so
right,
we'll
right,
know
right.
what
I thought you meant like we knew what they did on Love Island. I'm like, no, we literally don't.
No,
I have no idea how the producers handled this.
we know that it is rainy, and so now we'll eventually
So now,
know.
yeah, right. We will learn.
Yeah.
But we know the truth.
Exactly.
And now you know
That's
the
what
truth.
I'm saying. That's what
Right.
I'm saying. They
We're
can't hide it from us.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
It has been raining in Mallorca.
Yeah.
This is what they don't show on Love Island. Or maybe they do. Who's to say?
Never before seen.
Never before seen. Breaking
So,
news. Whole
Could be big.
whole new ball game we're playing here. But yeah, group vibes have been immaculate.
Amazing.
Everyone is so wonderful. It's like so exciting to do these trips. This is year 2 of the International Lovers Convention for Lovers. Second year we're doing this, and it's just as fabulous as it was last year. And I feel so honored that these are the people that are watching my videos and consuming this podcast. It like brings me great joy to get to meet you guys and see what you're like and learn about your lives and, you know, get you to spill your guts and share your secrets in person. Get to have a little, you know, just let's take the online offline for a second. It's so cool to get to meet you guys and see how incredible you are and be like, wow, It's like affirming to me. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right if these are the kind of people that my content is attracting.
Yeah, and you
So it's
totally
been
are.
awesome. It felt really great for me. Yeah, and I'm just excited to do the rest of the week with
I know.
everyone.
We're going to have so much fun.
Breaking news, though. Breaking.
Huge, guys.
Huge news.
Huge.
Coming through. Which, okay, I've been asking everyone today because I didn't realize that this wasn't something that every American cared about.
And in all fairness, I didn't know until you told me.
Shut the
No, I know.
Actually, I'm
I
so
know.
upset.
I
I cannot
know.
believe you just
I know.
admitted that to
I
me.
know.
I'm shocked that this isn't more of a thing. Like, I actually don't understand. This is the most American thing ever. This is like quintessential American lore to me. And I'm shocked to know that not all Americans know this. I understand why people not from the States wouldn't know about this, because it is so like, it's so American. But the fact that Americans are like, I don't know. I went around today and I asked a bunch of people on this trip, like, what does the name Joey Chestnut mean to you? And when I tell you, not one person looked at me and gave me the response I wanted. Everyone was like, it sounds familiar, but I don't know who that is. And I'm like, no, guys, that's sick and fucking twisted that you as an American don't know and love Sir Joey Chestnut himself. And you know,
Joey
Jaws,
Joey
if
you
Jaws.
will.
And you know what? Thank God you remembered that.
Yeah.
Joey Jaws, baby. The thing is that I didn't
Mr. Chestnut?
I didn't realize how much I cared about Joey Chestnut until I realized how little everyone else cared about Joey Chestnut. That man is a beast, okay? If you don't know who he is, since apparently now I'm the head of the Joey Chestnut Center for Education, okay? Joey Chestnut is a professional eater. A player in the MLE, if you would say, Major League Eating,
if you will.
It's a thing.
Yep.
It's a league that Sir Joseph Chestnut competes in, and he is well known for being pretty much the winner every single year of the Nathan's July 4th hot dog eating contest on Coney Island.
He's really the best of the best.
He's a legend. He is. He's the best professional eater.
You want to talk about the GOAT?
No, and also
I'm thinking Joey Jaws.
listen, I looked up some of his other stats. And I was asking everybody at the table at dinner. I was like, so how many hard-boiled eggs do you think Joey Chestnut can eat in 8 minutes? Because I think his record for hot dogs is 76 in 10 minutes. Crazy.
Oh my God.
My man goes ham. He goes bananas. Cuckoo bunks,
trains.
as some would say.
Yeah, he does.
Yes,
Cuckoo
no,
bunks. And you've
Cuckoo
been saying
bunks
that.
was
You've
invented
literally
for
been
Joey
saying
Chestnut.
that. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so then I looked up hard-boiled eggs. I'm pretty sure his record with hard-boiled eggs is 119 in 8 minutes. You want to know something even worse? I haven't even gotten to the best one yet. Shrimp wontons. How many shrimp wontons do you think he can eat in 8 minutes?
I don't
Think about it. Just give me a guess. 8 minutes.
I'm gonna guess it's too many.
Shrimp wontons. Give me a number.
I'm thinking like it's unfortunately gonna be higher than 80.
But fortunately it is.
Like I don't want it to be that high. I didn't even want it to be like 20. But it is.
8 minutes.
Okay.
Shrimp wontons. He can crush.
Okay. Is it like 125 or 130? Is it going to be like 200? What is it?
I am so pleased to announce that Joey Chestnut's world record for shrimp wontons consumed in 8 minutes is 380 shrimp wontons.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like
huge.
even just like listening to
This
this
guy's
makes
crazy.
me upset.
This guy is crazy.
I feel like, yeah.
I started getting the people into Joey Chestnut last summer when we went on girls
remember.
trip. It was me, Ashley, Ellie, and Mika.
It's true.
And I don't know how all of a sudden I was just like reminiscing on my man, Joey Chestnut. Because
You have to.
As a kid, when it was 4th of July, I was always up in Maine with my family, and we lived next door to a family who had kids all the same ages as us. And so all summer we hung out with them. And you know, boys are gross and disgusting. And so on the 4th of July, all the boys were like, hot dogs, hot dog eating contest. And we would get up early and we'd have the TV of Joey Chestnut on in the background while we're like getting ready for the beach or barbecuing or whatever we were doing that morning. And we would watch Joey Chestnut down those hot dogs. It was like a part of my childhood watching that man eat 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
It's probably the most patriotic part about you.
And literally it is. This is the most
that's your 4th of July.
I'm being vulnerable right now.
Yep.
This is the most American thing about me is my love for Joey Chestnut, okay? I love him. I think there's something so special about being able to do something so fucking absurd that anybody, no matter where you live or what your background is, everybody looks at this and thinks, why the fuck is that happening?
But do you know what I also think? There's a lot about this that we can pull out that are things really amazing. So number 1, authenticity.
So
number 2, he's locked the fuck in.
No, he's also the best at what he does.
Yeah, 3, we're witnessing greatness.
He has so many world records. Like the fact that he can say that he's eaten 380 shrimp wontons in 8 minutes. Like, how can you say that sentence without a smile forming on your face? Like, it's just, there's so much joy in such ridiculousness.
Yeah, he's kind of a champion. I wish that there was a stronger word than athlete to describe him. You know, because he's
the fact that it's like the MLE, Major League Eating. This is crazy, you guys, and it's so American, and I love it so much. But last summer I made all of them watch we discovered the video of Joey Chestnut taking out a protester mid hot dog eating contest. This man's downing like 70 hot dogs while he like grabs someone around the neck and shoves them down to the ground. This is an American hero we're talking about right now. And just as a disclaimer, I know literally not a single other thing about Joey Chestnut as a person, simply his prolific eating career. So I do not co-sign anything else he's done or said in his life. Just an FYI, if someone wants to come to the comments being like, oh, would you know this about Joey Chestnut? I don't give a fuck. I'm here to talk strictly about his achievements in the MLE, Major League Eating.
Can you separate the art from the artist?
We don't know. But with Joey Chestnut, I can't personally. He came up in subject today because huge news in the chestnutiverse.
I honestly forgot about all this. I forgot why we were talking about
Joey Chestnut.
Okay, so this all connects. This makes sense.
It all connects.
Yes, huge.
Huge news in the chestnutiverse. Basically,
what are you as his fan base or president of the education center? What are his fans called? Like chestnut. Joey Jaws.
We've got to brainstorm on this. We didn't think
we'll work on it. We'll workshop it.
But it's like you're a part of the chestnutiverse. Like the same way that people who listen to this podcast are a part of Lover Girls Worldwide, or you know, we're a part of the chestnutiverse.
Following. Okay.
So Joey Chestnut fans, the chestnutiverse was alerted today that basically, or it wasn't even today. It was like yesterday or 2 days ago that basically, Joey Chestnut is not going to be competing in this year's Nathan's hot dog eating competition, which is a huge upset. Huge. And the media, as it originally put it out, seemed that it was because, like, he was bowing out, or
maybe he was finishing on a strong note. You know, like, he's had a long, successful career.
And then it made it seem like, oh, he actually wasn't, this was just like a publicity stunt because he was they're launching like a vegan hot dog, Nathan's. This is what I heard initially, and they were like, this is a stunt for him to be like, I'm going vegan, I can't do the hot dog eating contest anymore. Anyways, this is what we heard at first, and then today Joey took to Twitter to set the record straight. At Joey Jaws.
Boy, did he.
He set the record straight and said that basically the MLE is banning
Major League Eating.
Major League Eating.
Yeah, don't forget it.
Him, not allowing him to eat in this year's competition.
Unbelievable.
Which is because he's their golden boy.
Know. Who do they have? They don't have any young rising stars. They have Joey Chestnut.
Without Joey Chestnut at this event, like, who's watching it? I'm sorry. I spent my whole childhood being like, you know who's on TV? You know who's on there? Downing 76 hot dogs on this fine morning? None other than Joey Chestnut. And now they're saying, you know, Joey, for all you've done for Nathan's, you can go fuck yourself. Basically, is what they told him.
Yeah.
The reason why is that it seems like Nathan's really wants Joey to basically be in an exclusivity with them, where he's not allowed to work with competing sausage and hot dog brands. Joey has allegedly recently signed a contract with Impossible Foods, I believe it is, like a vegan.
Yeah.
They make like vegan products.
Sure, of
And
course.
he's promoting some type of vegan dog, and Joey believes that he shouldn't have to be in like an exclusivity with Nathan's in order to like compete in the contest, do the event, because he's like, I've provided so much to you people. And also, I don't really believe that like vegan items are competing with the like real meat items. These are two different audiences.
Yeah,
like, it's not really a competitor.
I agree.
And so I think that's Joey Chestnut's argument for why he was going against this and why he was trying to make it work with Nathan's, but I guess they cannot make it work and they are banning him as a result. But I'm fully team Joey on this.
Well, of course.
You have to be.
I
Sorry,
mean-
Nathan's, you are nothing without Joey Chestnut. Let's be so clear right now.
Yeah.
Do
Absolutely.
people go to Coney Island for a Nathan's hot dog and not think about Joey Chestnut? Sorry. No. If you're going to Coney Island and going to Nathan's to get a hot dog, you are on the way there. You're in your head like, Joey Chestnut, Joey Chestnut, Joey Chestnut. You're hoping if you say his name 3 times in the mirror that he'll, appear in front of you just out of the thin
And he
mist,
just might.
holding a hot dog, offering it to you as a peace offering. Like, you can only hope that that's the experience you have at
And
Coney Island.
You know what? We were honestly, Maddie and I this morning were talking about ghosts, and
Who would you haunt?
I think that Joey Chestnut could be an interesting ghost
Yeah.
for his chestnutverse or whatever it is.
Sure. You want him to haunt the chestnutiverse.
Yeah.
So when he dies, you want him to haunt me.
That's what I was trying to
Okay.
say. Yeah.
Great.
I was trying
I
to
would
like
love
go
that.
subtle about it.
And it
but
would be
then,
so
Yeah, you
awesome.
took the bite.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be an interesting ghost. Anyway.
So that's the news update, I suppose.
Huge.
But
Thank
it's
you for
really upsetting.
Yeah, the update.
And I just need to be clear here that you should all know who Joey Chestnut is. And if you didn't know who I'm very upset to learn that not more Americans don't know who Joey Chestnut is, and that he's not as prominent of a figure in their lives as he was mine in my childhood. Just being so impressed by this ritual that we have of seeing how many hot dogs that they can eat on the 4th of July. That's American as it gets, babe. Let's go. Fire it up. Let's get those hot dogs down the gullet. Like, without that, what do we have? We have nothing.
Honestly.
This is the one
can't think of
American
anything.
tradition that I could get behind.
Yeah.
Okay. This was culture.
And now
we
don't even have that.
We have lost culture
We have
today.
nothing.
Okay. We literally, Americans get nothing. We can't have Joey Chestnut. What do we get?
Speak now, America.
Like, I literally can't. I'm so mad. Okay. We've got so many submissions, and I fear we should get into them.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Hey, Maddie. Bit of a long one here. I broke up with this person I had been seeing for about 6 months. We were dating, but not in a relationship. To be honest, I was not treated well at all. Was given no effort. I cooked them Valentine's dinner. They brought a single rose from a bouquet that their mother sent them for Valentine's Day and told me that their mother's flowers were the only reason I got anything at all. Previously established that I liked receiving flowers. They refused to help with any of the dishes, was upset that I had boxed brownie mix instead of homemade, all in one night, to name just one incident. I broke things off because it felt lopsided, and essentially they blamed it on them being depressed and me not communicating how I feel cared about enough. How do you draw the line between this person isn't putting in basic effort and I haven't communicated my wants and needs enough? I'm an undergrad, and this was my first ever true dating experience, so I'm a bit lost. Separately, when we started seeing each other, we agreed to stay friends afterwards since we had been before. This could be baby's first heartbreak talking, but the more I think about it, the angrier I get about how I was treated and the less I want to be friends. They don't put any effort into retaining this friendship, don't reach out to plan anything, and I don't know if I should let it fizzle out or talk to them about it. I don't really care about hearing the myriad of reasons/excuses they give about not putting in effort, but I also don't want them to think that everything between us is fine. Advice, help, comfort. I broke up with them a couple months ago, and I feel like I should be over it at this point, but I'm still so pissed. For God's sake, it was a fucking situationship, basically. Why am I not over it? Is this just what heartbreak is like?
Okay. Can I start us off?
Please.
Okay, so I have so many thoughts. First of all, you sound absolutely lovely.
Yes.
And I totally get why they would want to stay friends with you because obviously you are quite delightful and an amazing partner, friend, etc. Another thing that I want to say is something that I have been thinking about lately is, of course, always speaking in ways and acting in ways that you feel that you have a lot of integrity with and doing what feels right and the most authentic. That being stated, for me, as of recently, something that I have been thinking about is if this person isn't going to be in my life very long term, sometimes it's not worth having like a harder conversation.
Sure.
And so I would say that isn't always great advice, but I would say like sometimes I think it's okay
Totally.
to just let things sit unless you feel really on your heart compelled to talk to them, to say how much it hurt you, in which case I would encourage you to like really dig down and listen to your intuition. It sounds like you are mad. And so I would fully support you in doing whatever feels the most authentic and best to you. If that is telling them like, hey, this really hurt my feelings. It did feel lopsided. It didn't feel good. Great. And, you know, if that's also kind of just like sitting with it, yourself, processing, making space, releasing, like I think that's really excellent as well. What would you say?
I feel like I've talked about what I'm about to say in the last few episodes, so I'll keep this brief. But obviously, I believe that people can be friends after breaking up, but I think it takes a long time. I don't think that breaking up and going immediately into being friends is ever a good idea. And when I say long time, I mean long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that after a relationship ends, you need to break up, take space apart, go no contact, do your own thing. And when and if there comes a time where it is appropriate for both of you to be close again, to navigate a friendship together post breakup and figure out what a friendship dynamic looks like between you, then fantastic. But it takes a while for these things to like, for you to move out of the relationship phase, you know, mourn the loss of that, feel your feelings, feel the heartbreak, and then be able to build a like mature adult friendship with this person if that's really what you want. I don't think that we need to remain friends with everyone that we are in a relationship with or intimate with. Like, I think a lot of people say that to like soften the blow, but I think what is more meaningful is to like take time and space apart and then come back together if it's what's really meant for y'all.
But I would even encourage you, like, honestly, like, what do you want in a friendship and what is like this person giving you? Because like it sounds like it was kind of lopsided. And I think like in more long-term relationships, you have ebbs and flows, like platonic and romantic, but it sounds like this was like primarily lopsided. And so like genuinely, like what were you getting out of this relationship, perhaps other than comfort? And I know that's like kind of hard to say, but it comes from a place of wanting to make sure that you are really getting, your needs met and also are that you're feeling like good and like cherished, honestly, in this relationship.
And it, you know, it doesn't sound like you are really necessarily interested in being a friend to this person, interested in remaining friends. It seems like a friendship was basically started just because of the breakup, and the more you're sitting with it, the more you're like, this person doesn't really act like a fucking friend. Which it's fine, and I would be angry too if I were you. Like, let yourself feel everything.
Yeah. And also, I just want to acknowledge how much breakups fucking suck.
Yeah.
They're like the worst things in they're so bad.
Totally.
And also, I want to say that everyone in the entire world should read When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chodron because it's the best book ever, and it helped me a lot through a breakup and was just very, very powerful. So it's called When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chodron, and I feel like it's like the perfect breakup book, adjusting with like fluctuation and change and transition.
Yeah. I feel like you made a good call breaking up.
Definitely.
I think you'd probably be better served taking time fully away from this person, to let yourself come to terms with whether or not you would like to be friends with them or not. I think that there's no like timeline for these sort of things, and it's something you just have to move through in time. So I wouldn't be like kicking yourself for not being over it or still feeling like you're dealing with the heartbreak. Like, I don't know that I see like relationship endings or loss of connections in that way as being something that's like, it happens and then we feel pain and then someday it ends and we never think about it again. Like, I think that it's more of like a roller coaster of ups and downs, and you know, maybe there's like a period of like a lot of this, or it's like a lot of, you know, heightened emotions, and then you go down and maybe you're not upset about it for like 2-3 weeks, but then something happens and something comes up for you and suddenly you feel it again. I don't think that we should take that as being like, oh, I haven't made any progress towards healing from this. It's like, you're a human person who experienced like this
something really hard,
something special, and then something hard, and it's ended, and like, yeah, our reactions to that are going to be like ever changing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like all in or all out. I think that you just need to like meet yourself where you're at a little bit.
Something I totally agree. Meet yourself where you're at. Be gentle. Like there's no, you know, rush to feel your feelings faster than you can. Like, it's always just going to take time. Something else that I would encourage you to do is a little interactive, quick like journal prompt where you just like write on a sheet of paper a list of the things that you are really grateful for, that you learned, that you feel really appreciative of, and then perhaps a second list of like the things that were a little more challenging that you can look back at when you are feeling uncertain about the friendship or the relationship, and hopefully having this kind of list of what was really great as well as what was really hard will provide clarity in moments where you are questioning and experiencing more self-doubt.
I think my like main advice for you would just to be gentler with yourself, and to also like trust your gut a little bit on like what you're feeling towards people and what doesn't feel right to you within relationships or friendships. Like, trust that how you're feeling, and like trust that like you will know the right thing to do when push
100%.
comes to shove.
100%.
So if this relationship, if this friendship doesn't feel right, I would listen to that. Okay, this is an interesting one.
Okay.
This is an update on the jealous of my boyfriend's best friend submission from last week. They said, "Thank you for affirming my feelings. I really needed to hear that. I spoke to my boyfriend about me being uncomfortable with them sharing a bed, and he said it was a passing thought only because he lives in a small college student apartment, but decided on his own that it is weird to cross that boundary. So she's there right now, and they're not sharing a bed. As for having a conversation with her to squash the beef, I would love to be on good terms with her. I don't know if she's open to doing it, but hopefully eventually we can get to that place. This did make me think about the sharing a bed discourse, if that's a thing. You mentioned that it's weird for them to share a bed, especially because she dislikes me. Would it be okay if she liked me? You said sharing beds with friends crosses a relationship boundary, but I'm a bi woman who has shared a bed with a girl while in a relationship. When is it okay to share a bed with a friend while having a partner?" I have a very, knew my answer to this right away. I think it's completely dependent on the context and the situation and who we're talking about here. I don't think there's any like hard and fast rule for sharing beds with people while in a relationship. I think that like, you know, when it would be weird and when it wouldn't be weird.
Yeah.
I think it's, to me, the girl best friend disliking you is why it makes it weird to me, because I'm just like, that something about that just doesn't sit right with me. That like, this is someone that is very close to your boyfriend and has a strong dislike towards you, which maybe would make them not inclined to really prioritize respecting you. Like, it would make me feel uneasy if that was a situation that I was in.
Yeah.
But I can think about like in my life, if I was in a relationship and I had to share a bed with like any of my platonic friends,
of course,
granted they were on good terms with my partner, I don't think that I would think it was weird at all.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I think it's very clear we've established what each role is. Also, this person, your boyfriend's best friend that's a girl, she and him had like a previous weird vibe. So it's like there is history and context there to inform why it would be weird. I don't necessarily think it's like an overarching weird thing to share a bed platonically if you're in a relationship, though.
Yeah.
It just largely depends on who and what the relationship to those friends is.
Yeah. It just seems like you are being so smart and wise and considerate and such a good partner, and are really like doing your best to give him the benefit of the doubt and really allow him the space to cultivate his own friendships and relationships, which I think is so wonderful and so nice. And so just like hearing you talk about it, I was really moved by your level of honestly healthiness. I think that that's like really hard to have in a relationship, especially like it sounded like you were an undergrad. And so I think that that's like honestly like a really hard thing to do. And it's something that I struggled with in college. And so I was really moved by that. That being stated, I don't think that it would be weird if you set a boundary or like did actually feel really uncomfortable with your partner, like sleeping next to someone, even if it was like explicitly platonic. Like
That's fair.
I wouldn't want my partner sleeping next to a friend platonically, not because, similar to what you said, I don't trust them. I totally trust my partner. That being stated, there are certain like friends that I trust all my friends, but then there are other people that I've like come across that I feel I just don't trust as much, and I don't feel as like respected in my relationship. This is like far and few in between, but regardless, I would definitely be like uncomfortable with that premise. And I think, you know, going back to what Maddie was saying earlier, like this is really a go with your gut kind of situation. Like if you feel okay about it, you trust him, you trust her, like great. You know, there's definitely nothing like inherently wrong about it.
Yeah.
And it's totally like Maddie and I are sleeping like this tonight. You know, it's all good, right? But I think like if you and your gut are feeling like kind of weird about it, you're not wrong for feeling kind of weird about it, and you totally are allowed to like set that boundary and have that conversation.
Totally.
And I know it didn't end up like happening and it was all good, but
but it is an interesting like topic to think about. I do find it like, because I think everyone's gonna have a different take on it, and I don't necessarily think that any take is wrong here, so long as it is expressed appropriately and like with the kind of tact that it requires. You know? I feel like it's something that like some people are gonna be like, yeah, whatever, as long as like I know the person and like understand the vibe and understand that it's just like, you know, like sharing a bed with your bestie on a vacation or camping or whatever. Understanding it's something like that versus like if you're wishy-washy on what the vibe is, like, or some people are just going to be like, overall it's a no. I don't care if it's your best friend that you've known since preschool or not. Which I don't personally relate to.
No.
Like if
I think this is a situation where like context really matters. Like even me having said a few like seconds ago, like, I probably wouldn't want my partner doing that. That, but I give me any context.
Totally, it would change.
It changes.
Because I think that like if we're talking like the equivalent of like you and I, for him, I don't think that you would care in that context.
No.
Because it's like, oh, this is someone's childhood best friend. That we're good.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, even like most of my friends. Like I wouldn't be like I wouldn't.
Context, it changes everything.
It changes everything.
I really think it's like it depends on like the individual relationship between your partner and the person.
But here's the thing. Here's the difference. I have a relationship with all the people that we're thinking about.
Totally.
And I feel safe. I feel respected in my relationship by them.
Absolutely part
and
of
I feel like I trust you guys. And again, like I know that my partner would never do anything, but it's not even about that. It's about the other person. You're talking about someone who like you don't know as well, and that hasn't necessarily been like the nicest to you.
Yeah.
And so because I don't have that like level of like if it was someone people. Of like if it was one of my boyfriend's like friends, that would definitely make me feel like a little bit, you know, just like if I didn't have a relationship with her and she only had a relationship with him and then like had previously expressed interest, like I wouldn't have liked that as much.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like you need to have trust with like not only your partner but the other person, you know, trusting that they won't disrespect you or make something
because if it's like
cross some boundary.
I do really want to like commend you though, because I think it's very I think it can be very challenging, particularly like when you're like in undergrad or in, you know, like a first relationship where you're just kind of like figuring things out, to walk the line of like wanting your partner to have lots of like friends, but then also like navigating your own just like kind of like natural feelings of like jealousy or whatever it is that you're feeling. And so I just really commend you for being so thoughtful and like self-aware and checking in with yourself and like being so communicative. I think that can definitely be hard to do. And yeah, I just think you're awesome. And I think you're doing such a good job.
Our take is context matters.
Mm-hmm.
Context matters. Trust matters.
Yeah.
You know when you know.
Yeah.
You decide personally
And-
what the boundaries are and what.
Yeah.
You
And
feel
also
comfortable
just like another big takeaway is like knowing both parties.
Yeah.
I always feel matters
trust.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that goes into trust. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you wrote back. I've been curious.
No, I love a follow up.
Yeah, I love
when
a
people
follow-up.
come back
Yeah.
again.
I was thinking about you.
That's
so
awesome. No, listen, I was too.
yeah. Thank you for coming
on
back.
my mind. And glad that you're feeling affirmed by what was said last week and are feeling a little bit more settled into all of it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, I picked this one out of the box specifically because you're here, and I thought that it would be interesting to hear your response to this one. I have some thoughts, but I actually think like this person asked this not knowing that you were going to be here. So they're asking me this, but I actually think that you are a better person to answer this question than me.
I'm dying to know what it is.
So this is what they said. I really need some friendship advice. My best friend is plus size, and lately she's been struggling with her confidence. Since I met her 5 years ago, she was always a really confident person, but recently, after the end of her last situationship/relationship, I've noticed she has become more reserved and unsure of herself. We've talked about her experiences as a plus size person, especially the dating aspect, but I can only help that much and be a good listener. I'm a straight size person. I try to educate myself as much as I can, but I notice that she's struggling more than usual and second guessing herself. How can I support my friend and help them gain some confidence back, even though she's not expressing that she needs me to?
Aw. Okay, well, that's such a nice question, and it's great how much you care about your friend, and I think you're a really good friend for like wanting to think more about it. Very curious to hear your thoughts and your answers. My gut reaction to that would be if I were you and this was like a very close friend, which it sounds like it is, I would probably acknowledge to them, if you haven't already, like, hey, I've been noticing like these kind of changes in your like behaviors or mood, and like I just wanted to let you know that I really love you, and I think that like you are so XYZ, and I wanted to just give you an opportunity to talk about this if this has like been on your mind, and also if you don't, you know, that's totally okay, but I felt compelled to acknowledge this because it makes me sad to see you not seeing what I see in you. And I can also say that I think like listening attentively and being present is the best way that we can offer love in a lot of ways. Like I think like attentive listening is so powerful and makes people feel so cared for. And I also think that like you affirming them, you being a good friend, you should know, isn't enough to completely end the discrimination and challenges that they're up against, because no one person can. It's so much bigger than that. But I do think that like your support and your love will make them feel really cared for. And in the long run, all of that validation and the way that you see them doesn't go unnoticed. And it does definitely like integrate, even if it's just like very slow, but that's okay because that's like how it is. These things are really hard. So that's my thoughts, but would love to hear yours.
Yeah. Well, I thought that Ashley would just be like the perfect person to answer this because she was that person for me.
Yeah.
And
so just so you guys know, because this is something that I sometimes kind of forget as part of my story. I was so upset that Maddie was being bullied and couldn't see how beautiful she was that I
was about to bring
Okay,
this up
fine.
if you didn't. So no, you say it.
Okay, fine.
But I just love that. I was about to bring this up too.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
So I was really upset because like I saw Maddie, who was like so beautiful and so capable and so smart and so amazing, and just like she was so fierce. Like that was the word that I used to describe Maddie when we were little. Like she was just very fierce. And it was interesting because in some ways you were so unapologetic, but then in other ways, Maddie was obviously like struggling so deeply with her own body image. And the hard part was you always used to say like, it's not me. Like, I'm so okay with who I am. It's like everyone else that has made me feel so badly. Mm-hmm. And it was, in a lot of ways. Yeah. And so anyway, I was so like truly heartbroken that Maddie felt this way, that I decided that I should team up with Maddie and 2 of our other friends, and we should give a workshop to a group of 8th grade girls. We were 16 at the time. We were sophomores, and we should talk openly and honestly about body image, mental health, relationships, just like all the stuff that is like so important to navigating young adulthood. And so we gave this like one workshop, and during the workshop, we did an activity called Cross the Line, which was where I read out a list of statements and you cross the line if the statement applied to you. And it was a really powerful activity because you could get a visual of everyone who was like crossing the line when the statement applied to them. And so one of the last questions that we did was cross the line if you've ever felt like you weren't pretty enough to do something. And both Maddie and my little sister crossed that line, and I was fucking gutted. Like, it was horrible. Like, it's horrible to like see that. So anyway, during the second workshop, I met an 8th grader because we were asked to do like 2 more. I met a girl named Lexi Phipps.
This started because we like wanted to be like a resource to the girls that were younger than us. Yeah. And like let people know that they had like, we're high schoolers talking to middle schoolers. Yeah. But, like, I don't know, being like an older sister figure. Yeah. And like
we
opening
wanted to just like have these conversations.
Give support like to girls younger than us.
Yeah. We just wanted to like talk about these things. Like, honestly, like for what it's worth, this was like 2013. I honestly think like, I know that there's a lot of more progress to be made in all things. Totally. And in 2013, it was the progress that needed to be made was even greater. Totally. And there really wasn't like many conversations happening, at least in our community, in our like middle school and high school. Yes. And so anyway, it was really cool because my friend Lexi, Maddie, and I for 8 years ended up leading like hundreds of workshops at school districts all over Massachusetts to talk about these things. And we also directed 6 week-long summer programs. And just to brag really quickly, around the world, according to Dove Soap, 4% of women believe that they are beautiful, which is, of course, heartbreaking because your beauty and how you feel about your own beauty impacts like the way that you show up, the opportunities that you seek, the people that you spend your time with, all these things, right? After 1 week at my summer camp, and obviously, listen, like, this is not great data, but this is the fucking data that I have. That being stated, this was great and thrilling data. That being stated, I'm about to say, like, we definitely could have, we were teenagers.
Listen, don't downplay it.
Yeah. Okay. 96% of the folks that attended our summer program after 1 week believe that they were beautiful. Yeah. So, yeah, that's like a huge deal.
Time and like an awesome space. Yeah. And yeah, those I will always hold those summer camps near and dear to my heart. Being a counselor and getting to I don't know. I loved working with middle schoolers, even like working at the dance studio and getting to talk about confidence with my students then. Yeah. And speaking at, the MOVE workshops and being a counselor. Like, those are memories I'll hold near and dear to my heart forever.
That's the thing that I'm like definitely easily, without a doubt, the most proud of in my entire life. Like, it just feels so like creating that kind of impact. But also,
this is also like, not what I was going to bring up.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what you were going to bring up. But anyway, the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because I wanted to say like Maddie was like really the inspiration behind it, because it hurt me so much to watch your best friend like go through something and like feel alone in a lot of ways. And I think a lot of us felt alone.
I remember the first conversation that it was like me, you, Emma, and Alexandra at a kitchen table. And the 4 of us were talking about like our own struggles and experiences. And I think all of us are the oldest child. Yeah. So we didn't have anyone to look up to for like support when we were feeling like down about ourselves. And I think that was like the catalyst for like, okay, well, what can we do with what we know and what we've learned? And like, you know, being 3-4 years older than these girls in middle school who were talking to you, like, how can we just be, you know, open about all of this and try to help them feel better and stronger and more confident than, you know, we do. Yeah,
it was pretty awesome.
It was pretty awesome. And also, I think just adding this in here, sometimes I've seen people comment this, or some people have said to me in my life that they think that you and I are very different, which is so funny because I just think that Ashley and I are incredibly similar.
It's true.
But I think that like we are probably perceived very differently. But I think this is like, once people hear these stories, this is when people start to be like, oh, you guys are very similar. Because I think you and I have very similar values, and like we have been very passionate about similar subject matter for a lot of our lives.
And I will also say that like doing Move, that was like the company name, the organization name, that was like the closest that I've ever felt to myself. And that was like the closest that I've ever felt to like purpose and alignment. I like haven't done that since like 2018, and for like a lot of really like great reasons. And I feel really good about having made the decision to transition out. It was someone else's time. It was like time for me to be elevating other voices. I feel so good about that. And like, I will also just say, like, I feel like I am searching for what is like going to give me that greater sense of like life's purpose and work and alignment. And so I think too, probably like, yeah, you are in such a like flow state right now, which is like so amazing. And I can understand too, like not having like seeing me today, but not, you know, in like my most creative, on fire flow state. Because that I think is when we're most similar.
Yeah,
but
I agree. It is interesting though. Because I just think that we're.
Yeah, I said
so
to Maddie
similar.
the other day that, so I've started like a lot of businesses, and that's like kind of like my thing. I said to Maddie that I like present business first, and then like my creativity is like kind of like secondary, but it loops into everything.
And I'm reversed.
Yeah.
I'm present creatively.
But Maddie's actually
don't
really
see the entrepreneurial side
she's
of me.
super smart.
And then, I think we're just.
And I think we're flipped in a
similar,
lot
but,
of
like,
ways.
swapped in
I think,
like how we're perceived.
Yeah. I think we're flip flopped on so many.
Totally.
Like you could name any quality and trait, and it would just be like the yeah.
There's like an overlap, but like what is either prioritized to us or prioritized to the outside eye is flip flopped. But same core. Always,
We know,
baby. Come on, you know
Listen.
it is. So true, bestie. But what I was gonna say was, when we were in high school and Tumblr was a thing, Ashley used to send me anonymous kind daily messages to my Tumblr inbox, and it was always like, you would start it by saying that it was my daily reminder, and it would always just be like a message about how I was so beautiful and loved and whatever.
And she was,
and she kept it up for a very long time. This was like years that Ashley did this.
How did you find out in the end?
I don't remember, actually.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Because it was anonymous for a while.
I don't think you knew for a while.
A long time. Well, I think at some point
Maybe you
I
had a
like
little hunch.
caught on. I was like, oh my
Like,
think
who is this
long
secret
and hard.
admirer?
Yeah. At some point I think I caught on, and then maybe you told me or like wrote in some like note to me.
Shocking that I kept it a secret
You know,
that long.
I want to say that it was probably something like that. Like at the end of some letter you wrote me, you said like the same wording that you would have said in the anonymous box, and I was like, I thought so. I had a hunch or something like that. I don't really remember though.
Yeah, I don't
I'm just
remember
like
either.
I'm just like making this up right now. I'm like, I think that could have happened. I would like believe it if you told me that's what happened.
You know what? You've actually been saying that. So
I love that. Like, well, I don't know if I love this, but I do love it actually. Why am I lying? I love that we're like getting to an age where like we look back at stories of ours and we like don't really remember the details anymore.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that's like, I don't love memory loss.
Yeah.
But also I'm like, but that's so sweet that we've like spent so much of life together, and
It's
these
super sweet.
moments and stories that at some point were like so significant because we were in the moment are now so far in the past that we're like forgetting certain details of it. We just know that it happened. We're like, I don't remember how that ended. I don't remember exactly what happened here. I just remember that it was like important.
Well,
Which we did talk about the other day at the airport as well.
it's true. And it's like that quote. I forget who it's by. I want to say it's like Maya Angelou, but I could be totally wrong. But it's like, you will.
Just guessing.
Yeah. Honestly, I could have just fully lied.
Fully spreading
And
misinformation.
I might be. But you know what? But it's like the people will forget what you say or what you do, but they won't remember the way
how
that
you made them
yeah,
feel.
yeah. And I always think like, okay, honestly, that quote is like kind of a slay
so true.
because
ate with that one.
yeah, because I always do remember how people
Yeah.
made me feel, good or bad. The vibes,
Yeah.
I'd be remembering.
Yeah.
And you know what? If
true.
I'm remembering, Maddie's definitely remembering.
Listen.
Listen, so Maddie might have some memory loss, but like one thing she's not forgetting, anyone who's ever wronged me. Maddie is keeping names.
We might have some memory loss from high school, but if you ever wronged Ashley Olsen, don't worry, that memory was stored, babe. Okay, we double saved that bitch. I feel like the like best thing that you can do is just like show up, make yourself like a listening ear to them as you've been doing, remind them constantly of the beauty that you see in them, and also accept that like you will not be able to change how they feel about themselves. And when I think back to like the time in my life where I felt really down about myself and believed a lot of really terrible things, like the support that I had from my friends was essential, but that alone was not going to change how I felt, because the reality is that like having a bunch of thin people look at you and be like, no, you're so beautiful, don't say those things about yourself. There's some part of it that's not going to fully resonate because you're like, you don't get it though. Like, I appreciate everything you're saying and I need this support and I need the love, but it's not going to like click and fully wrap around the brain completely because you're like, I don't know, it's not coming from someone who gets what they're feeling completely. And that's not a bad thing. It's just like, we need more. There needs to be more than just like, the support from people who don't share the experience, which for me, a big part of like really getting to a better place with my body was getting to learn how to love myself through women who looked like me. And I think once I had more like plus size people to look up to, like I wonder who it was in these videos, because I probably know who they are now, just being more acquainted with the like plus size creator community. But it was like my junior year of high school, I had seen a video of like 4 plus size women on a beach on the like Upworthy Facebook account, and they were all wearing bikinis and like talking about like feeling confident wearing bikinis and not wearing one pieces. And it was the first time that I had ever like seen bodies that looked like that wearing a 2-piece and feeling like beautiful and sexy and, you know, talking about it openly. And it really had such an impact on me. And it was just like seeing it for the first time and getting to hear it. I was like, whoa. And it like opened up like a whole new world to me. This was happening like shortly before the Move stuff started. And because I used to mention this in all of the like body image
workshops,
talks that I did at that time. And this is when I started getting interested in like different plus size content creators and like making my own content about my experience with my body and like feeling some type of release through getting to talk openly about how I felt. And like, I think that it was like a 2-parter for me. It's like one part, yes, having the support from your friends that might not totally understand how you feel, but are eager to be like supportive and in your corner. That helps so much to give like a safe resting place to you. And also like, I don't know, it's just nice to be listened to and have people that you can like vent to and know that they care and all of that. But I think there's a second part of it where it's like you really do have to look towards people or find some support from people who can really like offer you understanding. I think that, and this might not be the, you know, situation for everybody, but for me, understanding and like getting to feel like I wasn't alone and it wasn't only me that was struggling with this, and also see other people that looked like me decide to like live differently and to like be like, you know, just because I look like this doesn't mean I'm not allowed to wear this. Getting to witness that was transformative to me. And so to me, it was like the two. Needing the support from the people who know me and love me, and also needing the understanding from people who have lived life in a similar body to mine. And I think both of those things are important, and you can only provide one of them. So I think you just have to accept that you can't do both. You can't provide both. And it's also like you can't be everything. You cannot save people. They need to like go on their own journey and like find their own happiness. You as a friend, all you can do is like support them, be a listening ear, remind them all the time of like how beautiful and wonderful they are. And, you know, if you see content that you think could resonate with them, send it their way. Not to recommend me, but I feel like you could probably send them my channel. They might find a thing or two for them on there, so. You know? Because, I mean, content creators and people online made like a huge impact in my body image journey. It's just like the kind of content and representation in plus size spaces online is like, this is the best space for that kind of stuff. Other forms of media don't have nearly as much as you have on the internet. Definitely. And so it's like, this is your best resource. Yeah. And I think if you want to send your friend content that you think they could connect to or resonate with, I think it's helpful. It helped me a lot.
I agree. And I would also say, like, it does sound like your friend's self-esteem is really like suffering right now. And I would also, if it is available or accessible, I would encourage them to consider therapy if they're not 100%. Already in it. Yeah. And like, even like, you know, maybe if you feel comfortable, if this feels appropriate, again, given your relationship, like sitting down with them on Psychology Today or whatever website or just whatever, like helping them even start the process, maybe even sending them like a recommendation. Again, like, you know, your relationship, you know what's appropriate and what feels good. But I think like, you know, healing is so complex and these things are so intense. And I think like therapy, you know, again, if it's available, if it's accessible, really, really important.
Completely. Yeah, it's tough when someone you love is like really struggling with themselves, and it's tough to know how to help. Yeah. But honestly, I think that what you're doing right now is what you should be doing, and in some ways is kind of all you can do.
I agree. Sometimes it's like, sometimes it does feel hard for me that like, sometimes I will feel like guilty, like that I couldn't stop you from being bullied, you know, or like I couldn't stop you from like having like the experiences that like you have had, or like it makes me like, yeah, but actually there was nothing that I could have done other than literally be a friend to you. And so
now like looking at it in hindsight, like all these years later, not to be like, I wouldn't wish it away, but I wouldn't. Yeah. Like there's every part of like those years of my life made me who I am now. And I really like who I am now.
Fuck yeah.
So, and I feel like it gave me a lot of purpose too. Like going through those things in life, like, you know, if those things didn't happen, I'm sure I would have found purpose another way. I'm also sure I would have, you know, had insecurities in other departments. Yeah, like definitely. You sort of like, everybody has their own shit that they deal with, their own things that, you know, provide them with purpose and whatever. I don't know that getting rid of all the things that I went through would necessarily make it better. I think it would just make it different. Yeah. And so I think I look back on that time now and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah. I think Maddie's point about like remembering what you can and can't provide is just going to be so helpful in all of this. Like at the end of the day, like you are a friend, you are straight sized, like, you can offer so much, and yet like you can't offer everything. Absolutely. And that's okay, because not one person can, and it's so important to have a community and this and that. So You're a great friend for even asking.
Yeah, seriously. And I really hope that your friend like finds the understanding that they definitely
Me too.
need, and thank God you can provide the support.
Thank God.
Literally so excited to talk about Love Island in the place where it happens, live from Mallorca. If I could go bang down the door of that villa and get them to let me in, I would. You'd see me on the news, BBC. Maddie Drosbeck breaks into the Love Island villa and does nothing. Waves at the camera.
Just wants to say hello.
I'm a huge fan. Like, I
just
actually
is very curious what happens when it rains.
Like, can I? Right, yeah. What did you guys do yesterday? Like, I have questions. Breaks in for a Q&A. But we're here, and Ashley does not watch Love Island.
Not really.
But she's here for the vibes.
Absolutely. Wholeheartedly.
And also, full clarity here. I have not watched the full week. I have watched last Wednesday through this Monday, and I watched half of Tuesday. Or no, that's a lie. I watched Sunday. I watched half of Monday. Haven't watched Tuesday because we're trying to do Wednesday to Tuesday. Listen, I've been busy. I've been on this trip, and I haven't had time to watch Love Island. So I'm going to talk about the episodes that I have watched, and whatever I don't talk about will just be moved to next week's episode. Capiche? Okay. So, picking up where I left off last time. Joey Essex. He's here. He's famous. We don't know why. I still haven't learned too much about him. I was asking, there are some people on this trip that are familiar with Love Island or are Brits. And so I was asking them. Yes. And I was like, so Joey Essex, what's going on? And I didn't learn much more other than like he's a reality TV star that's known for not knowing a lot, which is what I gathered about him as well. But eager to learn even more about Joey Essex in the coming days.
Amazing.
I'm eager to learn. I'm listening. I'm learning.
She's locked in.
Locked in. Okay. So Joey comes into the villa. He has to pick his person. Blah, 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 whatever. Joey picks Samantha. They go have a chat. She, off the jump, is asking him what his love language is and interrupting him as he's giving her an answer. Because she really doesn't care what his answer is. She just wants to make sure that he knows everything about her. He's Joey Essex, after all. He's famous. He's famous and in the villa. And she's just dying for him to know so much about her. I'm not loving Samantha. I'll be honest here. Patsy talks to Munveer. This is a very brief conversation, but Patsy has a disability. One of her arms, I guess, can't hold much weight, so she can't lift her arm up that high. So she needs help lifting things, or she was saying sometimes she needs help doing her hair because even like doing that is too much. And she tells Munveer this, who she was sort of speaking with. It doesn't really seem like they have a connection. Again, it seemed more like out of convenience that they were speaking, but I thought it was a sweet interaction nonetheless. I'm really liking Munveer, and I'm not loving that I believe he's getting less screen time. Like, it feels like he's just not Love Island coded enough, that he might just
Justice
be
for the sweeties.
Justice for the sweeties. But it's also like, why are you on Love Island, Munveer? You seem like maybe you're just a good guy. I might be speaking too soon.
I was gonna say
we don't know what we
say.
don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's what week is it, or what day is it?
we're on like, I mean, right now.
Yeah.
As I'm writing this, we were on like day 3.
Yeah.
So we're early days.
Yeah.
But I'm really
good
liking
first
Munveer.
impression.
Good first impression for sure.
There's a lot of people who have a bad first impression, so we'll take it.
100%. I also said, and this is funny, just like knowing what happens throughout the rest of the week, but I wrote here that I think that Harriet and Kieran do not have chemistry, and neither do Sean and Nicole. Which I'm still locking in, saying that Sean and Nicole are not lasting long in the villa because they're both of the most boring to me. Sean is, I think he's going first. I think Nicole has potential to stay for a little longer. Just because of some other drama that ends up happening. But Sean, count your days, brother. I've been saying this. On the other hand, I think that Jess and Ronnie have great chemistry.
I'm back in New York and I'm editing this the day that it is going live. So I have at this point watched all of the other Love Island that has happened, which we'll talk about next week because we have so much to talk about and get caught up on once I'm able to like sit down and talk about all the things that I don't talk about in this episode. But hearing what I just said with the knowledge I have now, embarrassing.
And I think Io and Mimi have potential, though I thought he was sort of laying it on a bit thick for day 2, and I couldn't tell if she liked it or not, which we later come to find out that it seemed like she was down for it, did like it, but he was like really doing the most. He brought her to the terrace and was like, that elimination brought some things into perspective for me, and I just want to make it known that I am more than attracted to you. And then he's like, asked if he could show her something, and then just goes to kiss her. And I like couldn't tell. She seemed like she was into it, but maybe cringing a little bit.
It
I
could have
was
been both.
cringing
It could have been
watching
both.
it. I like couldn't really tell, but then we learned later on in the week that like she was fully into Io. So I was like, what happened? Because in the moment I was not convinced that she was super into him. I thought that he was really doing the most for knowing her for like literally 48 hours. But I like Mimi. So we'll see. We've got more to say there. Okay, here's when the beef starts. Nicole and Kieran start having a chat together, and they end up taking this chat over to the hideaway, which is interesting because the hideaway in previous seasons have always been something that you have to be invited to. This season, there's a neon sign over the hideaway that says no invite needed. So I guess they're just doing it differently this year, and people can enter the hideaway whenever they want, even if it's just for like a quick chat. It's just like a private area, I guess.
Interesting.
But it's still holding the same weight amongst Islanders of like,
Yeah.
oh my God, they went to the hideaway.
Wow.
So when they're in the hideaway, Kieran expresses interest in Nicole, and there's very much like a cuddly, flirty vibe going on. Now remember, Kieran is currently coupled up with Harriet, and they have been getting to know each other. So we knew this wasn't going to fly. Even though it's literally they've been in this villa for no more than 48 hours at this point, we knew that this was still going to cause major waves, and of course it did. Harriet, well, because they like see them go into the hideaway, they watch all of this happen, and Harriet's pretending at first that she doesn't care.
What the hell?
Yeah. Well, it's like literally it's been 48 hours and they're just going to a different part of the backyard to have a talk, which is out of the eye of anyone else. So it is a little shady for that reason. But also it's like, you don't know this man.
Yeah.
Why do we care so much about him?
Of course.
It's been 48
It's
hours.
all just meant to be provocative.
Yeah, exactly. And so Harriet starts crying. She's like crying, fully, sobbing over Kieran. She gives Nicole a dirty look in the hallway because she goes into the villa and she's crying, and some of the girls are trying to comfort her, and then Nicole walks in and Harriet just sort of gives her a dirty look, and Nicole doesn't know what to do. So then Nicole walks out of the villa, and then she starts crying because she's like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. Like, we just went to go talk in the hideaway and he told me that he was interested in me. Like, why are you giving me a dirty look? What did I do? And also Nicole was like, when we were in the hideaway, he literally said to me that he was still getting to know Harriet too. Like, it didn't make it seem like he was only interested in Nicole and was forgetting about Harriet. It was like, it's day 2 and I would like to spend time getting to know you as well. Now, granted, I think Kieran is a little snaky and immature.
Yeah.
He's 21. He's the youngest one in the villa. He's not handling it with like grace by any means.
It sounds like there's honesty, not a whole lot of tact.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So then, okay, this is interesting. Then to get back at Kieran, Harriet decides that she's going to pull Joey Essex into the hideaway. And she tells Samantha this because Harriet and Samantha are besties in the villa, and Samantha is currently coupled up with Joey Essex. So Harriet tells Samantha that she's going to pull Joey to the hideaway to get back at Kieran, and Samantha straight up tells her, like, I'm not going to get offended by that, but just so you know, that's a bad idea, and that's super petty for no reason. And she calls her out immediately. Is like, that's so petty. Like, do what you have to do. I don't give a fuck, but like, why? Why are you doing that? So then Harriet does exactly that. She pulls Joey into the hideaway. While they're in the hideaway, Samantha immediately tells Munveer, Sean, and Nicole what Harriet said to her. And she's like, oh, she just pulled him in there to like be petty and get back at Kieran. She's like doing this explicitly to make him mad. Harriet or Samantha tells everyone that that's like
including
Harriet's
Kieran?
MO. Kieran wasn't there. But this information does get back to Kieran. Don't you worry. Kieran and Harriet end up having a chat, and Kieran calls out as like, that was like so petty. Or I don't even know if it really got back to Kieran, more than like he just had that same assessment himself.
Yeah, it's
He's like,
pretty obvious.
this is so petty for no reason. In that conversation that she has with Kieran, she's like, oh, it literally wasn't my intention. I didn't mean for it to come off as petty. No, girl, it was. It was your intention. It was fully your intention.
Bestie,
Admitted on camera that
yeah.
it was your intention. Why are you lying right now? And it was just funny to me that she was trying to make it seem like she was, I don't know, so cool girl, didn't care at all, was so unbothered about this. And it was just a sheer coincidence that she ended up in the hideaway with Joey Essex because she's keeping her options open. No, it was because she's being petty. Okay, a text comes in. Everyone has to blindfold their boy and then head to the terrace. And so the boys are all lined up in the backyard, blindfolded, and the girls go up to the terrace. And then they let a new bombshell into the villa. A bombshell comes in, and she has to kiss every single one of the blindfolded boys, and then whispers in Io's ear to, like, come with me. And she takes his blindfold off, and they walk to the hideaway.
Oh my gosh.
She also whispered in Joey Essex's ear that, like, she would talk to him later. He was next.
Whoa.
Basically. So this new girl, her name is Uma, and she is beautiful. So obviously, for this welcoming, for her walking in, none of the boys had like a say here. Like they just got blindfolded and then they're being kissed. But Samantha's pissed that Joey kissed Uma, even though so did everyone else. And Joey seems to be already getting sick of how possessive Samantha is on day one. And then, of course, when this conversation comes to a head, she's playing cool girl, like, no, don't worry about it, babes, whatever you need to do. But it's like, no, she's clearly bothered as hell, and it's very apparent. While Uma and Io are doing their little date in the hideaway, and then Joey Essex goes in there, whatever. They do their little date thing. Kieran is talking to Nicole, saying that he really wants to kiss Nicole, but he's trying to be measured in his actions because he knows that Harriet will lose her mind.
Again, honest, no tact.
Immediately after saying that to Nicole and acknowledging that that was the case, and he like really wants to kiss Nicole but just doesn't want to piss off Harriet, he decides that it's a good idea to make out with Harriet in bed that night.
Okay.
So he's being messy for no reason now. Telling Nicole, I really want to kiss you, but like Harriet's crazy. She's going to lose her mind. And then going and laying in bed with Harriet and making out with her all night.
Bro.
Kieran, what is wrong with you? Harriet and Nicole end up talking. We'll swap in some information on Kieran. And they basically are just swapping like the stories that he's telling both of them. But Harriet conveniently leaves out that they kissed in bed last night. But they were talking about how in the morning, Kieran made Nicole a coffee, but not Harriet.
What?
After making out with her in bed all night.
This dude makes no sense.
I know.
That is so maddening.
Yeah. So then Kieran.
Wait, what?
I know. It's unexplainable. His actions are unexplainable. Kieran tells Io that he's leaning more towards Nicole.
Bro.
After making out with Harriet in bed last night. Nicole and him talk, and he tells Nicole straight up that he kissed Harriet last night. And Nicole's basically like, oh, well, you can fuck right off. What the fuck? Last night you were like, I really want to kiss you, but I can't because I don't want to piss her off. And now you're making out with her in bed. And you're just going to tell it to me as if I'm supposed to sit there and be like, oh, no worries, babe. Like, if you making me a coffee is going to fix this. Harriet is talking to Joey. Joey was messy here. Joey was very messy.
Okay.
Which, this is why he's here. Joey Essex, I guess. Harriet is talking to Joey, and Joey was basically outed Kieran and was like, oh, he made it seem to the boys that he likes Nicole more. And then Harriet was like, well, he hasn't said that to me. And Joey was like, hey, Kieran, come over here. Calls him over.
Oh my gosh.
And point blank is like, you like Nicole more than Harriet, right? And Kieran was like, yeah. And then he was basically, I don't know the exact words he said, but it was basically like, anything else? No? Okay, bye. And just like left. He was super cold, was like, it was kind of rude, but it was also Joey Essex's fault for starting the conversation that way. Like, he put him in a really uncomfortable position, but also Kieran's handling of that was just abysmal. So then Harriet starts crying and runs upstairs, and then Kieran looks at Joey Essex and is like, I was gonna pull her later and tell her that. Like, why did you do this? Why did you put me in this situation? Which, fine, but also you could have handled that better once Joey did put you in that situation. And then Nicole follows Harriet upstairs along with all the other girls and is like, what's going on? Why are you upset? And then they're all basically like, you need to like go talk to Kieran and he'll tell you himself, because they didn't want to be like, oh, well, Kieran actually like likes you more than Harriet and that's why she's crying. Everyone was like, you just need to leave. So Nicole leaves and goes to talk to Kieran, and he basically tells her exactly this, catches her up to speed, whatever. Harriet comes back down after the girls amp her up and is basically like, fuck you, Kieran, I never want to speak to you again. Any boy would be lucky to have me, but not you. Nicole, you can have him. And she's like, over it. Kieran's dead and gone to her. Kieran is childish and bad at communicating, but Harriet is also massively overblowing this situation for someone that she's known for literally 3 days at this point. There's no reason to be going this hard for a 21-year-old you met on Love Island 3 days ago. There's literally no fucking reason for it.
Literally none. But also, like, thank you for bringing the drama.
Yeah. Oh, it's what I needed personally. Thank you so much. Back to Io and Mimi. So Io majorly switches up on Mimi because, as we know, right before this, he was majorly laying it on thick with her to the point where I was like, does she like this? Does she not? I couldn't even really tell. And now he's so dead in all of their chats. He's like, stopped putting in effort like that. And Mimi's like, I'm going to pull back if it's going to be like this. And she says this to him. And he's like, no, don't do that. Like, he's all upset about it. And it's like, just let her go. If you're more interested in the new girl, if you're more interested in Uma, then you should just say that rather than like slow fading Mimi.
Yeah.
And she has to sit there and be like, I'm getting less out of you and our chats are like kind of dying. So like, I'm just going to go. And you're like, no, don't do that though. So then it's time for a recoupling. Reach the recoupling. The boys are picking first, but Uma gets to pick before they do because she is the new person in the villa. Uma, of course, picks Io to recouple with. Other highlights from the recoupling, Ronnie picks Jess, but his speech is really fucking weird and mean for no reason. And he talks about a bunch of the other girls that he may or may not be into and said his eyes have been massively opened. It was a very weird recoupling speech that was so just bad. Like seemed to slight Jess the whole time. Bizarre.
Yeah.
That'll be looped back around to later. Joey picks Samantha, Kieran picks Nicole, Sean picks Harriet, and Munveer picks Patsy, leaving Mimi single. And there's a new Islander entering the villa. Omar is waiting for her outside for their first date. Then after the recoupling, the boys are talking, and Io tells the boys that Mimi was obviously his number one.
Question mark.
And then he goes up to the terrace with Uma and is like, I'm really interested in you. So he's like playing both right now. And he's putting in way less effort with Mimi after like love bombing her on day one. And he's telling the boys that he's still like number one for Mimi, but then he's also going ham on Uma now. And it's just very confusing.
He sounds very confused.
Yeah. Oh, Munveer pulls Jess to the hideaway also to confess that he kind of wants her and she is not into it at all. Which I was like, this is tragic because Munveer is kind of the best one in there right now. So I'm like, what did these girls see in like
21-year-old
Ronnie with the hair plugs versus Munveer, who is sexy and nice so far? Trust no man. No Love Island
time will
man.
tell.
Listen, only time can tell.
There was a reason why this man was cast.
It's true.
Okay.
And we just haven't found out yet.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Nicole and Kieran go on a first date picnic and Harriet is obviously so bitter. Meanwhile, she's like trying to move on to Ronnie. Harriet is being messy. Then Io tells Mimi directly that if it were up to him to choose that night, he would have picked her over Uma, which is bad. And I'm thinking at this point that Mimi might be able to see through his wishy-washy, weird back and forth behavior. And I think it's going to be especially clear after a dares game that they're playing. They do a little dares game. Here are some highlights before I get to the real big highlight. Sean snogs Jess for who he wants to spend a night in the hideaway with. Kieran says that Harriet has the most red flags. Harriet snogs Ronnie as the sexiest in the villa. Joey, his dare is to snog the girl you would want to share a bed with if not for your couple. And he picks Jess, and Samantha's clearly mad but not saying it out loud. Io has to snog the girl that's 100% his type. So now the truth has to come out in front of everyone. And he snogs Uma.
Bro.
What is wrong with you?
Oh my God.
After you just told Mimi
he's literally, no.
that you would have picked her if it were up to you to pick and she's your number one and you like her more than Uma, when given the question to kiss the person that is 100% your type, you pick Uma.
Messy.
Mimi, you deserve better than that, man. He's trying to talk to Mimi after doing what he did, and she's kind of like, my head is scrambled. I really can't do this with you. I don't want to talk to you right now. So I haven't really seen how that resolves because this is where I stopped watching. What I did see also is that Ronnie pulls Harriet to the hideaway. Ronnie, who has been seeing Jess, who I have said that I thought that it seemed like they had a pretty good connection. Ronnie pulls Harriet to the hideaway and they kiss. And Jess is fuming, understandably. Which, Ronnie, you're so fucking lame. Because you seem to have a good connection with Jess. You had a good thing going. Also, Jess was very understanding and made it very clear to Ronnie that if he was going to do anything to Harriet, if they were going to like kiss or get to know each other, or if he was interested, all that he had to do was give her a heads up first. She said this to him. She made it very clear. So they come out of the hideaway after that, and Jess immediately asks him if he kissed her while they're like walking out. He's like, she's immediately like, did you kiss her? Which you can tell because Harriet was wearing red lipstick, and it's like kind of,
oh my gosh,
you know,
yeah,
you can
yeah,
tell
yeah.
it's
of course,
a little
of course.
fucked up now.
Absolutely.
And he immediately fessed up. Which is just like, he's so lame. They sleep on it. Next morning they wake up and Jess is basically like, you need to make a decision between the two of us. If you kiss her again before you make that decision, consider your decision made.
Whoa.
If you do this one more time, if you kiss her again before making your choice between the two of us, I'm done with you. So just make your decisions wisely, basically. And good for her. I thought that was a great response to all of this because it is early days. We don't need to like.
That is a good response.
We don't need to go like completely ham over him kissing another girl. It is fucking lame that he didn't communicate with her the way that she explicitly said it would be fine if he did beforehand. But also, we've got to be measured about these things. They've only known each other for a few days, and I think her response of being like, fine, but if you do it again, that's the last time you'll ever do it
also,
to me.
like, did she come on to him?
Harriet?
Yeah, like maybe he didn't know or he wasn't sure that was like.
Well, no, he for sure kissed Harriet.
Oh, okay, so then never mind.
Yeah, he was making active choices here.
Never mind.
100%.
Never mind.
Yeah. That's the last time you try to defend a Love Island man.
It'll be the first and the last.
And that is all I watched for this week. So I'm missing an episode and a half of what I should have included here. But listen, we've had things to do, people to see, besties to form this week. So we've just had so much on the plate of to do. It's very possible that this episode is late because of that as well. So if it is, I'm so sorry. But I'm just a girl. I'm doing all that I can. So thanks for listening, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
So much fun.
It is 1 a.m. right now. We've gone deep into the night here in Majorca.
Sleepover.
Just besting it out. Doing what we do best, really.
Yeah, exactly. No, but for real, this was so fun.
Yes. Always.
Always
So,
a pleasure.
With that, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. And I will see you in next week's episode. Woo!